And welcome back to Cross Tactics. I quickly want to show you guys how to load up your Rapid Fire Tactical Crossbow. You've got the pivoting arm here in the back, right? So if you want to take them out, obviously you just do that. Just dump them all out like that. If you want to load them back up, then you just drop them in, right? Simple as that. The broadhead bolts, slightly more complicated. Explain in a second. There you go, all loaded up and ready to go. So you have a little piece here. I don't know if you can see it there, right? And that inhibits the broadhead bolts from going in, obviously blocking that little section where the tip would go down. And why is that? That's because some of these magazine systems that just have a cavity in the front for the broadhead tips don't take into consideration that when you're moving around a lot, right, with these crossbows, the bolts tend to rattle a little bit inside. It doesn't matter how much pressure you've got on them, they're going to rattle a little bit. It's you know, the bolts are sitting on top of each other, aluminium on top of aluminium. It's a little bit of gives a little bit of a I don't know, slippery surface when they're against each other. The point is that some magazine systems don't take that into consideration. They just leave the cavity empty, and then what happens is the back cavity where the fletching goes down, right, it starts to twist the fletching when it moves too far forward. So you end up with a bolt that's not 100% in the right orientation to fall on the barrel. Now normally in the cocking stroke, that would take care of that, right? The string would move back and it would even it out. But still, just to ensure that the bolts are being fed 100% right, I've got that little piece in there. So what you want to do is you just want to remove that if you're going to shoot the broadhead bolts. And there's a little screw there. Maybe you'll be able to see it better with the other crossbow. So here, you can see, let me just put this one down. You can see that screw there, right, is what keeps that in place. So you're just going to loosen that up, right? Loosen that screw up, which I already did with this one. So I'm going to pop it out, the bolts, and then I'm simply going to get my nail in there. Once the bolt is removed, obviously, I'm just going to get my nail in there between it, move it a little bit forward, grab it, and pull it out. So now you've got it in your hand. And if you've got this piece and you're going to put it back in, because you're going to get two in your package, right? You're going to get one that's slightly shorter than the other. All right, one that's slightly fatter than the other one, and one that's slightly skinnier, right? The skinnier one is for the slightly longer bolts, field tip bolts, like these plastic shaft bolts, if you're going to be shooting plastic shaft bolts. Then you, with the steel tips, they still have steel tips, you're going to want to use the skinnier one, right? And if you've got the normal standard aluminium golden bolts, you're going to use the fatter one, because these are slightly shorter than the plastic shaft steel tip ones. Okay, and the other thing you're going to do, or going to want to do, once you've got that little piece out and you want to load up the broadhead bolts, then your first broadhead bolt that you're loading up in here, right, don't push it once it's in. Let me see if I can change angle here. Right, once it's in, when it's going in to this cavity here, don't push it in the back. Just let it drop naturally, right, like this. So you can use this as a guide and just sort of drop it in naturally, just like that. Okay, you don't have to push it in the back, because if you do, there's a little clip that stops the bolts from going too far back so that it doesn't cause any jams, right? Now if you go and push, because these broadhead bolts are slightly thinner, right? They're slightly thinner than the standard aluminium bolts in their shaft. So which means the back here is also slightly thinner. And that, if you push on the back, it might go in under that clip. If I could show you what that would look like. it now, but I mean, it can happen, right? So once again, what you want to do is, I'll get a bunch of them. What you want to do is from the back, right? You just want to let it fall in naturally and let the tip fall in naturally, just like that. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, next one, and the next one, and the next one. And there you've got 7 broadhead bolts loaded up and ready to go. So check your first bolt, make sure it's not underneath that clip. If it is, then rectify the issue before you continue, or before you try to shoot. Like I said, I can't seem to replicate the issue now, but I know these shafts are thinner than those, and the system in the back was specifically calibrated for the 6mm thick bolts. So, and these are like thinner by micromillimeters. So I'm just putting that warning out there with the broadhead bolts. But other than that, 100% operates. And remember then, if you're going to use the aluminium bolts, the standard aluminium bolts, to put the thicker one back in, and put it in with this little curve, that little groove. That always has to be at the bottom. Okay, always has to be at the bottom. Don't put it in with the flat bit at the bottom. Flat bit always goes at the top. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Showing you how to load up the Rapid Fire Tactical Crossbow. And you might have noticed also I've got the side rails on this one. I'll let everyone know on the channel when the side rail ones are available. I still only have the standard ones. I'm doing a couple of tests with the side rails first. But anyway, this is a great configuration. You've got your flashlight there. You can blind them. Highly underrated tool, flashlights. It takes your vision away for a couple of seconds, enough for you to move, get out of there, change your position at least. I got the laser, and then I got the red dot at the top. I personally wouldn't necessarily use the red dot. I like to have my top sights clear, but I know there's a lot of people who love using red dot sights. And flashlight, nice to have it in the front, so your crossbow itself doesn't cast any shadows on the ground. You've got a nice clean, nothing's casting any shadows. And there, I think you can see the laser too. And the laser in this configuration is closer to, sorry, there's some sort of ruckus happening outside. I'm going to go check now when the video is done what's going on. Crazy neighbors. Anyway, so with this configuration with the side rails, the laser is actually closer to your barrel than it would be if it was on top or if it was on the bottom rail. So you're actually getting a closer sighting with your laser. And the flashlight is absolutely great for people who live in South Africa because of load shedding, all the rolling blackouts. That's only been forecast to get worse and worse and worse. So to have the flashlight on there is absolutely great. Normally when I didn't have the side rails, I'd have, like this one, I'd have the laser at the bottom, and then I'd slide on the flashlight every time we had load shedding and I went outside for like a cigarette or something. And this that slides off the front side, right? Slides off this to make way, obviously, for whatever you want to put on top, like the red dot side. So the side rail also helps for a little storage area for your front sight. So slip it off the front and I slip it on here wherever I have space on the side rail so it doesn't get lost, or I don't have to put it in some sort of cupboard or you know, a little baggie or whatever to try and keep it safe. I could just keep it on the crossbow itself. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and for everyone who bought the system, I highly recommend watching this video. I will share it to everybody. Okay.